thing was like buried in mud at some point. It's 5:45 in the morning, and we got another call that there is a dead JL at Buck Island on the Rubicon, which you couldn't be more in the middle of the Rubicon Trail. So we're taking the Scrambler on 42s and the shop Tacoma, Gen II Tacoma up there, and about 4 guys, and we're gonna hook onto that thing and try and get it pulled out of the Rubicon. Last civilization, we're in Georgetown, filling up with gas, gonna top it off and haul ass to Loon Lake. Well, we thought we were gonna be there by 7:30 in the morning to meet the guy at Loon Lake. Look at that, stuck in construction in the middle of nowhere on Wentworth Springs Road on the way to the Rubicon. That doesn't happen very often. Well, we're at Loon Lake. It's about 7:30 in the morning. I'll tell you what, it is not a bad place to be in the northern Sierra Nevada mountains. So we're going to get set up and get in there to the Rubicon and get this rig out. Look at that. The water is dead flat. Well, we made it to the trailhead. It's about 8 a.m. We're going to air down the tires and hopefully get to Buck Island around 10 and get this thing handled.
I think it's going to start.
Yeah, I do. I'm John. Nice to meet you. So, quick background story on this situation with John. Here he is. He decided to come run the Rubicon with his wife and daughter from Montana, so completely out of his element, out of state. Drove down here, towed his JL on the trailer, left the truck and trailer in Tahoe, decided to run the trail backwards. So Tuesday morning, they set off, drive on through, get into Rubicon Springs, event free, decide to go up to Buck Island and camp up there instead of Rubicon Springs. Mind you, you're going up the big sluice, pretty intimidating obstacle there. So they start heading up Big Sluice. 3 or 4 times during the day, the engine does shut off for no reason, especially when the power steering started to get really stressed, and it even said power steering overheating on the dash. Didn't really think much of that. Drives it up into Buck Island, camps at Buck Island. Right before they go to bed, he uses the battery power to pump up his air mattress. Next morning, gets up. We're going to keep going through the trail. Goes to the Jeep, goes to start it. All lights on the dash. The Jeep actually does start, but it says things like no communication with the CAN bus system, won't shift. He physically can't get it to shift into the gear. The engine is running, fan on high speed, AC on, but no controls anywhere. So now he goes to turn off the Jeep will not turn off. Had to go in the fuse panel, find the ECU fuse, pulled the ECU fuse, tried to put it back in, tried to start it again, dead stick, lights all on the dash, you're out of luck. So at this point, there's nobody else on the trail. It's the middle of the week, kind of early season. You have your wife and kid, your vehicle's not running. What do? He made a smart move, I think. and is that he decided that either way he can walk out, his truck's in Tahoe. So they packed up a few things, some water and backpacks, left fairly early in the morning, walked down Big Sluice to Rubicon Springs. The caretakers happened to be in Rubicon Springs. Talked to them, told them the situation. The caretakers are actually the ones who gave us our phone number at WFO. And they were nice enough to drive them to the top of Cadillac Hill, which is a steep section, so it's nice not to have to hike up. But from there, all the way out to Lake Tahoe, they hiked that evening through all the mosquitoes, everything else, blisters on their feet. But before dark, they're at their own truck with a trailer. They can get in. They drove into South Lake Tahoe, got a hotel room, got food. They were safe. Next morning, they call us, and here we are. Airing down the tires for 10 pounds. We might go a little bit less later, but when we're pulling on it, I want to keep at least 10 in there. Yeah, this just unscrews like that. Then take that off. We put that piece under the seat. This is my sway bar disconnect. I just unbolt one side from the front sway bar, throw it in the toolbox. We'll try and just cruise in and not wreck anything, right? Anybody want a breakfast burrito? Front, I think they're warm. Well, you always have to stop at the beer tree, but it's too early in the morning to have a beer, I think. I mean, is it ever too early?
I was gonna say, I got an ice chest of beer that I think should still be cold.
Oh, that means when we get to the Jeep, you know, well, that's for the victory beers. Do you have those two radios?
Well, it's fine. I figured he'd wheel and get used to it on the way in, but
easy to drive it out.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm down to drive. Yeah, I'm down.
We're probably just gonna boogie. Yep. So if you have any problem, call me, but... Break their action. John, right?
Yeah.
So you called me yesterday, and you said you had an 18 four-cylinder turbo, 2.0, but I asked you, I said, is it an e-torque? And that's not something people commonly talk about, right?
No, most people don't even know about that, including mechanics at the dealerships.
And when we're talking e-torque, this is not a 4xe Jeep.
No.
I think it commonly gets confused with, oh, you got a 4xe, but no.
When you say e-torque, every mechanic that you talk to thinks it's the hybrids.
Yes, and it's not a hybrid.
No.
And nowhere on the vehicle does it say e-torque.
Nope, not on the tag or
not even on the window sticker when you buy it.
You need to literally go to the dealership and give them your VIN number to run it, and then they're confused.
And when you bought it, you didn't even know it was an e-torque.
Nope.
So we commonly get at least one guy a week comes in. They made the e-torque in 3.6s and 2.0 four-cylinders through almost all the years. So we commonly have people come in and we tell them their Jeep's an e-torque and they didn't even know it. And what exactly does that mean, the e-torque?
It's the 48-volt battery underneath.
So there's a giant battery under basically the driver's side passenger's butt,
it's
right?
4 batteries combined together.
And so
That's what it is.
when you have an e-torque, you really need even another skid plate to protect that underneath. So look at that, we're talking. So basically the e-torque is a 48 volt battery, and then you don't have an alternator on your Jeep, right?
No, it's a generator.
And that generator turns into an electric motor, almost like an electric supercharger.
Yep.
And so what happens is, in the place of the alternator, there's a giant generator electric motor, and when you accelerate from a stop, it takes that 48 volts and it actually powers the generator or motor,
An electric motor.
and it turns the belt. So it like helps the Jeep take off as if you were pulling on the belt. Which is ridiculous. Like, so just so you're aware, I've driven them both. I can barely feel the difference taking off from the line, but where I can tell it is the e-torque regenerates when you come to a stop. So when you let off the gas, the Jeep slows down faster when you have an e-torque. And in that, because it's charging the battery. So in that, I can tell you're driving an e-torque. You don't use the brakes as much. Okay. So in your case, we think because it was an e-torque, because you're on the Rubicon, all the systems do weird shit. That's what caused your Jeep to go wild.
If we go in there and change this battery, I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah.
That's a brand new battery. I'm a year old.
Not bad. 9:42, Buck Island, so an hour and 40 minutes. We're gonna go get the Jeep. I guess it's not right at the dam, it's at the be the east campground, I guess, southeast. So see if we can go find this Jeep. It's not down in there.
Nope.
Go past the people that you see there and keep going. And then the turn's like a 1,000 yards past that. Nice little camp spot here at Buck Island. So we are here and hopefully gonna try and get this thing started. New battery maybe. Check it out, look at the river coming in. We'll hook the battery back up.
I'm curious.
I almost think that I don't want to shock the system with low voltage. Well, we'll see what happens. So one thing I want to remind you guys when you leave your vehicles and go to get help. So always remember, leave your keys with the vehicle. You're welcome to lock it, but hide them somewhere where nobody else can find them, under a rock, around the corner, a tree stump, in the tailpipe. Hide them somewhere so that when we come to rescue you, you don't have to come in and we don't have to meet up with you. Sometimes we have people in the area that can just diagnose a vehicle for us over the radio. So one of the mistakes he made is he took his keys with him. And in this case, we met up with him. He's going in to help us get his Jeep, so it was okay. But always think about that. One other thing is, don't leave any food if you can help it at the Jeep. The bears will tear your vehicle apart if there's food in the ice chest. I sat for 2 days. Could have dried out, unshorted, whatever. Oh. Nothing. Nope. All right, wipers. Look at that. Go check. Look at the dash. The wipers are going by themselves. We're gonna put a new battery in this first. First try. New battery. Oh, that thing's heavy. Oh. Aren't these the weirdest terminals? How they work? My mind can't understand. Out with the bad, in with the new. So we gotta hook the.
When it started the other morning, it wouldn't shut off and it was doing all this. I was like, what?
We're gonna scan it real quick.
We're gonna give it a scan and then see how freaked out the computer is. Hopefully it'll give me an idea of where to search. Unable to verify connection. Yeah, that would make sense why it doesn't want to start. Is there any, did you pull that fuse out you said? Where did you pull a fuse from?
I could show you where I pulled it from.
Let's try your scanner, Trevor.
Okay.
This one does not like this vehicle.
Actually, no, my scanner's right here.
Yeah, it's like, well, the computer's not linking to it, first of all, so if the computer is not working at all the fuses, we need to look everywhere at every fuse in this thing, because there's going to be a fuse box there, and there probably should be one in here somewhere.
And I'm going to have you look underneath at the auxiliary battery, because if
I'm not sure.
if that took a hit from a rock, it goes through the auxiliary. It's right underneath where you're at. And see if you can see any hits on that battery system.
The computer is not recognizing that it has an engine computer at all.
It doesn't even exist according to the
diagnostic.
diagnostic.
Not linking at all. So
yeah,
we're gonna do this and check every fuse on this thing real
I'm
quick.
gonna pull the ground.
See, the water on this trip was not over these tires.
Yeah.
But I've had this Jeep in some water.
Oh,
On top of it.
Just about 100 fuses.
the weird thing is the engine was still running, Ori. So it's like the ECU is there because it had the engine running, but it's not exporting to the BCM. It makes me think that if a wire was getting pinched and the chassis moved, it's
Possibly.
grounded it or something.
I've eliminated the
Sway bar?
sway bar disconnect.
All the fuses tend to be good. This thing was like buried in mud at some point. I've never seen that much mud on a tranny before. All up in the linkage.
Yep. I've had this.
No, we'll do that. Oh, it's right there.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
I thought I
Well,
said it when
it looks like a computer right there. Man, you got some serious mud up in this thing. Let's clean it up.
Like so. Just so happens that the cargo basket is a great mount for a Starlink. You're in the middle.
You're in the hardest spot.
There isn't a good decision on which way to go.
I think
It's really a flip a coin, but like here,
Big Sluice is a long downhill.
but it's all down.
And then it's a long, there's so much like dirt straightaway through there.
I know, like it's easy.
It's easy.
All the way, it's really a tough call. Towing up Cadillac, it's really not that hard.
No, that's not hard.
We'll have a group decision
Yeah.
before we go. So plug it back in as if the taser's gone.
Yeah, what is the taser? What is it?
So
Those wires
Chris,
gotta plug
explain
in.
to him what it does.
Like the edge of the speaker panel
Okay.
goes straight.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Your two fingers.
I see it.
And then the ECU is right behind. I don't know what it looks like under the hood of a 4-cylinder, but the ECU is right in front of the battery. That's the.
Reconnect the battery. I got that. The taser, or where the taser went, reconnected.
You put on the brake. Same thing. This thing has been completely submerged in its life. It's been in mud holes. Yes, 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 it's been in deep mud and water before.
You want to just plug it in and leave it plugged in for a minute?
Plug the battery.
Just plug the battery in and check engine light comes on. All the dash lights come on when you hit the button, but the snap-on and the cheap scanner, neither one will connect to the ECU or the computer.
Like we could maybe try neutral, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Gotta pull that thing.
That's what I was gonna say. Pulling up on the thing to
maybe
go
you
into
have to
neutral.
put the transfer case.
Yeah.
Dude, normally that would shift.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The
Unhooks the battery.
disconnect the battery.
Oh, maybe it has to be disconnected.
Maybe it could be doing something to lock it up.
Yeah. I can rock it.
You're looking back.
I've never not been able to pull that wire and shift it.
Back in for me. I want to see if I can get the windows maybe to go down or something. Oh, the back one.
The front ones won't though.
Oh, there it goes. Scanner, and it reads that there is power there. Like if I use the cheap scanner, it just turns on.
Does have power.
Yeah, it's got power to it, and I mean the check engine light is on the gauge cluster, but so is every other light. So
Yeah.
location you may not be able to shift. Continue to D to not shift.
It's putting up there.
You may not be able to shift again until serviced. Like,
It's the transmission.
okay, yeah, no bus.
So that's
It says no bus.
Yeah,
Yep.
underneath park neutral drive it says no bus.
because everything reads through the CAN bus.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Just the wiper fuse, so the windshield wipers stopped going crazy on us. Trying to save some power.
No, that was dirty.
That was definitely, yeah.
That computer is covered in mud and drenched. Trying to smell if it burned. Okay. No. Yeah, so it's not the battery.
We're gonna plug the taser back in, see if we can check codes with the taser. Well, we'll try that. We'll give it a last ditch here, and then we'll make it. You're gonna be walking next to the Jeep on one side.
Okay.
John's gonna be walking next to the Jeep on the other side.
We've dead-toed a Jeep out before, which is not the funnest.
Right here. So it's almost like we need to short strap it on that spot, because like where the ledges we're gonna have that are bad, like the hard spot's gonna be just leaving Buck right at the bottom of Old Sluice. There's that like really waterfall skinny spot there. Oh, yeah.
Because of the wetness, you know?
Let's go out this way.
Yeah.
Back to mine so it's doubled.
Yeah.
Right? You know what we're gonna do right away? We're all just gonna push it back. We don't even have to pull it back. All right, guys, we're gonna just push this thing straight back and get a run at it. Here we go. Let's see if we can go. Come on, each of us get a tire. Hold on. Keep going. That's it. This fucking old man's already tired. We're gonna go up on a log. You're good. Yeah, just go to this side, call it good. Where can you lift from the high lift there?
No, you're right. Well, the rim.
You want to try this one? We're gonna.
Yeah, if you got it, let's just try it. It's okay. Yeah, don't put any hands under there yet.
Yeah, no. On the PE brake on?
No, but if it rolls back, it's not going nowhere. There's a rock right there. The Timu jack. At least that's what I call it. I think that's where Trevor got it.
Is it going up?
Yeah, I think it.
Actually, this thing's wild, huh?
It works really good for just a little. Have you ever charged this battery?
Never charged it.
Off of here, and we're just gonna jack this tire up and see what we can get underneath it. Don't turn it now.
Yeah, we've got it.
We should stack some rocks underneath that thing.
Be very careful whoever's going near.
A little bit. I can at least give you some warning.
Well, if the high lift doesn't work out, I think we're gonna have to yank him back and restart this whole approach we have. Yeah, just a pull back so we could get him set up better to go forward. Try to avoid that big boulder.
Oh boy.
It's okay. Just
Probably timed out.
here, come over here and pull on this tire and push it with me.
Back up and be a little higher up.
Well, I think you get over there and back against those rocks, and then I winch to you.
Yeah.
And winch off. No, you don't have to pull me.
Good idea.
Wrapping myself up backwards.
It just started. What? It started. Yeah.
Holy shit!
Can't get it in the fucking.
So let's just leave it with power.
In neutral. In the T-case neutral, but I'm gonna leave it running.
Yes. Steering would be a game changer.
Yeah, it would be.
So don't force it though.
I'm not, yeah.
So it's still really bounced.
Right,
so should we back him up? Should we?
oh, is that what it's running now?
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, no, I gotta get in there.
You're pulling it backwards?
I think that's our only option, right? It's trying to go to park, huh? Go. Are you in gear, Ori? Hold on, stop.
We're in drop.
Seems like it's in gear.
It's a neutral. The tranny says it's a neutral.
Fuck. So it went to auto park is what it did.
That's why we couldn't pull it forward.
Yeah.
Because it was in park.
Yeah, it's going. We gotta get you back because we gotta get you up on the hill higher. So keep coming back. There we go. Okay, stop. We decided to go out Tahoe because we were so far past Buck Island where we found it, or at the back side. So we're coming down Big Sluice right now in tow. Current situation, big turn on Big Sluice, pulling it around, Toyota up front. We're coming downhill on the hard corner. So some people might wonder, why are we using the winch rope off the winch to the recovery vehicles to pull this thing out? And the simple answer is this. We like to use the recovery vehicles as dead anchors when we can't pull anymore. So we pull until the tow vehicle starts spinning the tires, stand on the brakes, then the vehicle being towed, in this case the engine was able to run and charge the battery, can then use their winch to pull up that hard spot, then we start going again. At the same time, The Scrambler, we would often hook it up to the Toyota in the front and use my winch rope for the same reason. If I needed a dead anchor and the Scrambler couldn't pull, then I would be giving it gas in the Scrambler and hitting my winch at the same time, pulling off of the Toyota as the dead anchor. So eventually we found that we could use the nice strap to hook up and tow the Jeep, and then keep the winch rope still hooked up with about 3 feet of slack in it so that we wouldn't get that jerk as we're pulling the Jeep. But then if the Jeep had to assist and use the Scrambler as a dead anchor, he could just hit the winch real quick, pull up and over something, and let it back out. We go back to the strap.
Dude, I was like, what the hell was that? You're
Let's see if
shitting.
we can throw it in the back of the truck.
Back to the Toyota for sure.
Back to the Toyota.
It's got a bad ground or a connection somewhere in the system. So it magically let me start it when the winch was working. And when I used the winch, somehow that back feeds or puts a load on the system and everything starts working. As soon as I let go of the winch button, everything freaks out again.
All right. To another spot. And rock on the tire like this. Just keep on the knobs of the tire. Right there, perfect. There we go. Well, let me get square. Well, you can actually right here turn there. That'll line them up at that spot. Okay.
What happened here? We snapped a winch line. So we're hoping we don't have to use it anymore. If we do, we're hoping my knot holds up. But we'll see about that.
We are in Rubicon Springs and we are headed towards Cadillac. Let's see what happens when we get to Cadillac. Go. This is it, daisy chain at the bottom of Cadillac Hill, and we are heading up. I think the camera camera never does it justice, but this is where it gets steep. There he is behind us. And there we are. Double pole, nice and slow. Don't even spin a tire. Situation right now, we are daisy chain pulling up Cadillac, and it is sketchy. Big cliff over there. Well, this is V-Rock right here, and it doesn't get any sketchier than this. Cliff. Oh geez. Here we go. Oh boy. We're up the first one. Now we got to get the rig up. He's behind us on them, and they're winching up to me so we can get the strap really short while we come around the corner on V-Rock. No way we're getting up this. This is the last kind of hard ledge. This is Morris Rock, and this is never an easy spot. There they are behind us. Oh boy. The Jeep's up, so let's see if we can get him up. Come on, mother. Oh, let's go, let's go. Woo!
Tack started working.
Oh, really?
What? There's a rock out there. You gotta hug it. Hold on, Brack. Hold on, Brack. Okay, Ori? Yeah, I think so.
up because we're in a traffic jam. Ran into afternoon 5 o'clock commute, you know, top of Cadillac Hill here. The power steering has to have a good battery to run. Is that mine? Let's find out. You think it just blew off the bead?
Yeah, let's jack it up and see.
Yeah, here's the jack. Well, right when we thought we were getting to the top of the hill, we blew a bead, so we got to jack it up and pump it back up.
Guys about to put out some crazy stuff.
You gotta be.
We're good.
In there. It might air up.
All right, it's working.
It's working. We got it.
Ask Brecken what he's doing.
Brecken, what are you doing?
Burritos. Perfect oven. Right off the front bumper.
Wonderful. I got the bottom one, and it's got a light brown crisp on the bottom of it. Taco Tree for the win, Auburn, California. Thank you very much. Basically just made it across the canyon, right? So the Jeep started on its own really about the top of Big Sluice, and it ran all day long, 8 hours. And the craziest thing is, as it was going all day, Ori was trying to put it in drive, messing with the transmission. The shifter would shift into the gears, but the light would just flash and it wouldn't actually get drive or reverse or whatever. But throughout the day, things started working. All of a sudden, the windshield wipers stopped moving. Some of the gauges started to come on. Halfway up Cadillac, the tach turned on. So it was like it was slowly rebuilding itself, like some crazy damn computer putting itself back together. Yet we were still yanking and yanking, yanking. Still no power steering and no drive. And we get all the way up Cadillac to observation, all the way out through the nuisance stuff. There's one last hard rock section just before what they call the car wash and near Miller Lake. Literally, you're almost to Tahoe. We got the Jeep up the rock section and to gravel road. And at that time, Ori clicked the shifter, clicked it into drive. It went into drive. Right at that same time, the speedometer kicked in and he was in two-wheel drive. We didn't think about shifting the transfer case. We unhooked the straps. We drove it in, and here we are at the staging area. And the Jeep is all back to normal. Not a single light on the dash. Tell me that's not freaking stupid. We just spent 10 hours pulling this thing, and now it's perfect. So, still can't explain why. Well, the sun is still out. I think it's about 6:30 in the afternoon. All the way back from Buck Island, through Rubicon Springs, up Cadillac Hill, dead towing this 2018 JL on 37s with the Eco Torque 4-cylinder turbo. Got it all the way to right around the corner right there, and it just started running again. Swear to God, who knows what it is. It has to be something with the Eco Torque battery, so we're gonna fire it up and drive it out of here. And another job well done by the boys right back there. Look at them. That's who made it happen. You ready? Rolling. Ready? Victory Beers. Oh, that's a Rubicon beer right there. Coors Original. And that's the way to end the recovery. Now, he's got to go get the truck and trailer and still get all the way back to Montana. So I'm glad they're drinking good beer over there in Montana.
None of that damage is from here. That's all Canada.
It's weird. It kept giving me warnings that said don't turn off. And so I didn't want to turn it off. And then it said leave it in drive and leave it running. And then all those warnings went away. But other warnings were there. And the whole time I kept trying to put it in drive and put it in 4-wheel drive and it wouldn't work. Until we got to that one spot. And then I got it in 2-wheel drive and the speed, as soon as the speedo started working, I put it in gear and it stopped flashing and it just worked.
Well, people are wondering if we made it out, and yes, we did. And there we are, Lake Tahoe. Made it right out, and we're headed down the hill. Another successful recovery from WFO.